When we began to think about Eyes in the Dark, one of the things that we had to keep in mind, probably from logistically the perspective, one of the most important things was making the shots continuous. In a normal film, you'd have cuts all over the place. You would structure your scene by by the process of montage, and people are used to that. It's what we see every day. With this movie, we had to be able to tell a story and also to keep it exciting without without too much cutting. And whether that means hiding the cuts or whether that means justifying a reason for the camera to turn off and turn back on, we had to plan for those, each one. And as soon as you attempt to do this, you realize that it is much more difficult than you may have first anticipated. The characters, the actors portraying the characters often actually held the camera. In many cases, they didn't. I don't know what the breakdown is in terms of percentage, but there was a lot of myself and the characters who were supposed to be holding the camera. Another thing we did was in the case of particularly complicated scenes, I would get very close to the camera, almost like dancing, very close, putting my hand on the shoulder to then do the framing, but maintain the actor's ability to work against each other. So there were a couple different techniques that we used to maintain that illusion. So in terms of filming techniques, we wanted to, this is a movie inspired by inspired by the real world video culture. I mean, people have found people forget that before Cloverfield and before Blair Witch, what really makes these movies, what really sells them to your subconscious, what makes them more believable in some ways, is that we've all seen shaky footage on the news. We've seen whether it's disasters or all kinds of things that have been found. That's what really inspired this kind of movement, I think, and it's a growing movement. There's more and more filmmakers trying out point of view filmmaking as a way to increase the verisimilitude of the film. We had to make it simultaneously shaky enough to be believable, but not so shaky that the audience got sick. I think my favorite part about working on the movie was seeing things come together in the edit. I generally am not a person who follows horror films, but I was really satisfied with the way things came together, and yeah, it was great. We went through months of post-production, and we'd sit down once a week to watch where the movie was and make suggestions and change things, and at one point I turned to Bjorn and said, it's better every time. This is really good. I like this. And as someone who doesn't follow horror films, that's not necessarily something I thought that might happen. But no, it was really great to see it come together.